Hello everyone, this is Shashwati Singh and today we'll be discussing about the company that is Nike. This $130 billion company is the world's most popular and biggest sportswear company. Nike has over 1,000 stores all around the world, and the term Nike actually means the Greek goddess of victory. The swoosh sign, that is the logo of the Nike, symbolizes the sound of speed. One interesting fact is that the co-founder of the company gave the task of preparing a logo to a graphic design student who was in dire need of money for only $35. When the company actually got famous, it offered her with 500 shares, which at right now worth for about $1 million. Let's just quickly discuss a bit about the co-founders, that is Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman. Phil Knight studied in a Stanford business school where in an entrepreneur class he was asked to write a paper on a potential business idea. He mentioned in his paper how Japanese companies like Nikon and Canon replaced the German camera companies, and the same could happen in the sports industry as well. After a few years of working as an accountant, he finally decided to travel to Japan to materialize his business idea in the year 1962. There, he got hold of a local company named Onitsuka Tiger. He was impressed by the designs, and let me tell you, at that point of time, Adidas and Puma were already famous. But it was something about this local company that attracted Phil. He presented himself as the American shoe distributor. He then bought 15 to 16 pairs of shoes from them and sold them on the racetrack personally in America. In 1963, he sold only 13 pairs of shoes. He then met his former running coach at the University of Oregon named Bill Bowerman, who also used to train Olympic athletes. In 1964, they clubbed $500 each and with that $1,000 bought shoes from Onitsuka Tiger Company and formed a corporate named Blue Ribbon Incorporated. They bought 300 shoes in just $3. They bought shoes in April 1964, and it was only in about 2 months when in July 1964 they sold all the shoes. In the first year, they sold shoes for about $8,000 worth. They then hired salesmen, and in the next year, that is 1965, it made a revenue of $20,000. With that, they opened various stores. While Phil was handling the business branding and marketing, Bill was involved in innovation and idea development. He used to give designs to the Onitsuka Tiger Company in Japan, dealing with lightweight material, usage of cushions to make it comfortable and flexible, given extra bounce for the runners. He even wrote a book about jogging, which became the national bestseller, which inculcated the jogging mindset in the Americans. He made sure that the price of his shoes were the lowest compared to the competitors. At first, Nike only focused on the athlete shoe market, becoming the niche leader. It was after the success of the shoes that they expanded the sportswears and equipments. In 1968, he developed a shoe named Cortez, which became the best-selling in no time. And just before 1969 Olympics sold almost $3,000 worth of shoes. However, the Onitsuka Tiger Company couldn't meet the demands of the manufacturing shoes. After fulfilling the local needs, they sold the remaining shoes to Nike. It was in 1962 when their contract expired and they decided to not to be a shoe distributor. They hired contractors from Japan and produced the shoe in America itself with production under their control. The sales and revenue of the company has peaked ever since. While giving product innovation the topmost priority, Nike's marketing strategies have had a huge impact in the growth of the company. In July 1988, with the Just Do It campaign, Nike's sale increased from $900 million to $1.2 billion.
People ask me how I keep my teeth from chattering in the wintertime. I leave them in my locker.
In 1993, Not a Role Model campaign increased Nike's revenue by 15.4%.
I am not a role model. I'm I'm not paid to be a role model.
They have not just emphasized the power of disables but have continuously focused on gender equality issues by If You Let Me Play campaign and the Voices campaign, increasing the sales for about $3.4 billion. While all the other companies try to avoid controversy, Nike embraces it, converting emotional national conversation into dollars. In a famous incident, Nike supported Kaepernick, who was known for sparking a movement within the NFL after he took a knee during the national anthem at 2016 to protest suppression and police brutality. He posted a Nike ad on Twitter with his background, after which a few people started to boycott the brand, with shares declining by 3.2%. However, the negative popularity ended up in their favor by online sales increasing by 25%. In other incident, they featured openly gay HIV-positive runner Rick Bonos in its Just Do It campaign, increasing the sales by 36%. In 2010, they released a commercial featuring Tiger Woods amid reports of his extramarital affair. They even stood by Kobe Bryant through his sexual assault case, which was eventually dropped.
One of the greatest jobs of marketing the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the products. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes, and they honor great athletics.